Hey everybody, it's Lauren here at The Dream Scene. I just wanted to go live and answer some questions and just share some stuff with you guys. So as you join, just wave at me so I know that you're here. Thank you guys for joining. So it's been really fun today to share and take over these Instagram stories. So I hope you guys have enjoyed some of the posts, and I'm excited to connect with you guys through Maniac.com. So thank you, first of all. If you have any questions, feel free to post them in the comments section and I will answer them as well. If you have any questions around relationships, dating, perhaps you're trying to figure out maybe the next step in your life, post it below and I'd love to answer it. So what I wanted to talk to you guys about now is I'll talk a little bit more about the life coaching piece, and we'll get into the love connecting as well. But when it comes to like life coaching, it's really about getting clear with what you want. And I think that's the number one thing, is what do you want out of your life? I had posted the question earlier about, do you feel that you're living your life's purpose? And I had a spelling error. And one thing I noticed about myself is when I have a spelling error, I can't be okay with it. I feel like I have to go back and clear it out. So I had your instead of you are. Anyway, mindset is so important too. But when it comes to getting clear with what you want, there's some questions you can really ask yourself. So we'll get to mindset, but I want to start with just where are you right now and where do you want to go? What questions can you ask yourself? Especially right now, if you feel like you're not living your purpose, you're not sure where to start, these times right now are definitely challenging. And many people, I think it's like 43% of people right now feel hopeless about things because there's a lot of uncertainty. And so with that uncertainty, you really can't control what goes on around you, but you can control what's kind of going on within. So if you're looking to get clear on your purpose, one thing I always like to go back to is ikigai, and it's a Japanese word. It means reason for being. So I don't know if anybody's heard of ikigai. Just drop an emoji. But your ikigai is your reason for being, why you're here. And it's kind of the intersection of these 4 questions. So here's the 4 questions. What do you love to do? So ask yourself that. What do you love to do? The second question is, what are you good at? So the first one is, what do you love to do? Think about it, write it down. And then what are you good at? And then the third question is, what does the world need? So what is desperately needed in the world right now? And then the fourth question is, what can you be paid for? So we have, what do you love? What are you good at? What does the world need? And what can you be paid for? And right where all 4 of those meet is your ikigai, your reason for being. So if you're trying to figure out what your purpose is, I invite you to ask yourself those 4 questions and just kind of start kind of figuring out what do you naturally love? Because whatever you spend time doing, if you love it, you're gonna have more success with it. So, work your strengths, minimize your weaknesses, and focus on the things that you love. So those are the 4 questions I always like to ask people when it comes to purpose and finding that reason for being. And your purpose and your career and your calling, they don't always have to be the same thing. But if you're feeling like you're meant to do more, I'd start with those questions. And then the second part is mindset. Right now, it's so challenging to stay positive. And you don't even have to stay positive. There's a lot going on. And however you're feeling, just allowing yourself to feel that, but noticing what you're taking in and noticing how you're talking to yourself. So those are 2 things that you can definitely control with all the things out around you that you necessarily can't, is what are you taking in? Are you just soaking up all the social media, all the news, and then how is that impacting your thinking? And how are you talking to yourself? Are you being kind? Are you being critical? So be super mindful of what you're taking in and how you're speaking to yourself, because those are going to impact, how you show up, how you feel, and everything after that. So those are just some kind of tips around, getting clear with your purpose and your reason for being, and then just really manage your mindset. That's, you can worry, and you can be hopeful, and they're going to require you, to have faith in something you can't see. So I invite you to be, more intentional and hope for the best, because you can hope for the best and it feels better too, and you don't know what the outcome will be, and then hoping and planning for the worst is not going to feel great, and you still can't control the outcome. So be mindful of your thoughts, be mindful of what you take in, and I'm just checking with some of the comments. Hey guys, thank you for hopping on here. Yeah, post any comments or questions that you have. Okay, so any more questions on purpose or mindset? Okay, so I also want to talk a bit about relationships and dating. So if there's anybody out there, they know the online dating during quarantine can definitely be a challenge. So I just wanted to share some pointers. If you are out there, you're in the dating world, first of all, be real with yourself and be clear with what you want. So get really clear with what you want. I'm going back. Angelina is saying, how do you find your purpose? I mean, your purpose, it goes back to those 4 questions and like your inner knowing, and you might not discover it right away, but I'd say follow the things that you naturally love, like what you feel like you gravitate towards, because if you can pair what you love with what the world needs and how you can serve other people, I think purpose goes back to like service of others. So often, and this is in life purpose or relationships, we look for what can we get? What can we get from this person? What can we get from this relationship? What can we get from this job? Where to truly live in your purpose is what can I give? So what can you give to the world? What can you give to a relationship? What can you give to another person? If you come from that space, like what can I give? I feel like you'll have a lot more clarity on your purpose. And sometimes it's not just an easy thing you figure out. It's a lot of like questioning your, what you want and doing a little bit of research and trying different things to get clear with that. And if you guys have any questions more and you want to talk further, you could definitely schedule a one-on-one coaching call with me, complimentary via Zoom. So getting back to that, just what can you give, whether it's relationship or if it's your purpose. And then going back to relationships with dating is being real with yourself, being real with other people, and getting clear with what you want and not just what you want in another person, but like I said, what can you bring to the relationship? And you becoming the best version of you and showing up as the best version of you. And whether it is relationships or life purpose, becoming the person you want to meet. And what does that look like? And one thing you can do too is like, to get clear with what you want is just really envision it. What is how do you picture when you're feeling your best? Who are you with? What is happening? And like envision that for yourself. Angelina says, how do I schedule a Zoom call? Angelina, if you go back and I'll post it again, you can just swipe up in the video that I posted prior, and there's a link right to my Calendly calendar, and you can schedule it right away. I will post it in the comments here too, and I'll post it again. And then Nina says, this is so helpful. I'm looking for my next job opportunity. Your message is so relatable. Oh, I'm so glad to hear that, Nina. Yes, I will post the link to the Zoom call. You can schedule a 30-minute coaching call with me Tuesdays and Wednesdays, so I'll post that link. And sometimes finding out what you want is to find out what you don't want first. Yes, that's a great point. The best way to find out what you want is sometimes just to learn what you don't, and to make the mistake and know, okay, you know what? No harm, no foul, and now I know what I don't want. But you have to kind of just try things out. I think the thing is you don't realize, what your interests are or what you could really be a really cool opportunity for you unless you try things. So, and if you can think of everything as an opportunity to get to know yourself more, whether it be a relationship. Speaking of relationships, so often people will look and say, oh my gosh, I've had 10 bad relationships, I've had 2 bad marriages, I've had 30 bad dates. If you can look at each person you go out with versus look at as a lesson or a little bit more clarity on like what you want, versus like time wasted, you'll have a lot more power. Same thing with jobs. You could say, you know, despite your age, and this goes for relationships and life purpose too, like despite your age, it doesn't matter how old you are, how young you are, like every experience had led you to where you are now, and you still have an opportunity to discover really what, you know, is meant for you, and don't look at it as a negative, and everything is just bringing you closer to what, you know, is more aligned for you. So thank you guys. I'm glad to hear this. Some of this is resonating with you, and thank you for joining this live. So back to relationships. So be real. I'd say if you are speaking with someone online, FaceTime them right away. Get on a FaceTime call, get on a Zoom call, see if there's chemistry right away versus waiting and then meeting and being socially distanced and then discovering that they're really not a match. But look at dating as a way to learn more about yourself. And the beautiful thing about this time is that you can really spend time to get to know somebody on a real level. You get to really have that kind of patience and courtship and getting to know somebody and what's really important to them before you just meet them. So even though it's definitely challenging, you can't just go out and meet people as easily as we could in the past, though you can use technology as a way to really get clear with, you know, what you want and get a chance to talk to different people and know what are your non-negotiables. What do you want? What are you really looking for? And I think this time especially, people are all about real connections and, you know, being with someone who they can truly connect with and what really matters. Just seeing if there's any more questions here. Feel free to post anything. Post questions around dating, relationships, kind of, I'm open to answering anything. I think the one thing too is for everybody with mindset right now is this time is challenging for everybody, and everybody is dealing with it the best that they can. And some days you feel more hopeful, some days you feel less hopeful. And when it comes to, you know, figuring out your purpose or, you know, what you want in a relationship, being patient with yourself and knowing that everybody's kind of is just reacting and responding to the situations, and having more patience and not taking things as personal. So whether this has been a time for reflection for you or a time for just like taking action, whatever it might be, just allow yourself to have it be whatever it is. Let's see if there's any more questions. Definitely post your questions here if you guys have any. Okay, and the last thing I wanted to share around dating and relationships is, again, it's this time especially can bring up a lot of old stuff, old fears that people have, old feelings. And so just being aware of how people are responding to you if you're out there dating, and knowing that they've all, you know, being in isolation has impacted everybody, and being clear with, okay, am I wanting to date this person just because I've been alone or I've been lonely? And being honest with yourself too, because now is a time where you can really connect with someone on a real level, and also be aware of, well, is this really what I want, or is it because I've been in quarantine, now I met this person and it feels like I want to just cling to that. So just be aware of your intentions, and be honest with what you really want, and just, you know, show that up front. Because I think so many times with dating, especially with online dating, people put out this image of, this is how I want to be, this is what I'm looking for. And at the end of the day, you know, you want to present yourself in a way that's honest, and at the same time you want to be you want someone that really connects with the real you. So even though you want to like put out all the, you know, the best, and I don't recommend on even, you know, first couple dates just putting everything out there, but being clear with what you truly want, and versus thinking about how this person's perceiving you. So often we think of how we're being perceived versus what we actually want. So just be real with yourself, show up authentically, and be open and look at every dating opportunity as just a way to get to know yourself a little bit better and what you really want. So I hope that's helpful. Okay, let me just see if there's any more questions here. Thank you guys for being here. So just to recap, to find your ikigai, your reason for being, ask yourself, what do I love? What am I good at? And that's what am I naturally good at? What does the world need? And then what could I be paid for? And where all of those intersect is your ikigai. So I wanted to share that with you because that's just one of my favorite ways to kind of figure out where to start. And just start there, and you can list a bunch of stuff for each question. And then when it comes to dating and relating right now, even though times are challenging, utilize the good of being able to get to know somebody, at this time. Be real, be authentic, don't rush the process. Look at every opportunity as just to know yourself better, to learn what you want, what you don't want. And just be patient with yourself. Be mindful, take care of your thoughts, take care of what you allow into your thoughts. And community and connection is important, so reach out to people as you need, connect with friends, safely socially distance as you can. And in terms of the dream scene and some upcoming dating events, follow the page, like and subscribe subscribe to the email so you'll get updates on upcoming socially distanced dating events that we'll be having here. So looking forward to that, both in person and virtually. And have a great day, you guys. Thanks so much. Send me any comments or feedback or thoughts. And I look forward to connecting with you guys in person or through Zoom. I will post the link where you can schedule a one-on-one complimentary discovery coaching call. Have a great day, you guys. It's been really fun to be doing this Instagram takeover today. Thanks, everybody.